Hey friend, welcome to today's video. My name is Queenie. If you've been following along with my YouTube community posts, you know that my mom passed away in March. I think she knew that I was struggling and she sent me a sign that was absolutely her without a doubt, and I can't wait to tell you all about it in this video. I'll also be doing a tribute nail design with a sweet story behind it that I think you're going to love. A few weeks ago, I started posting updates on my channel about my mom's health, that she was in the hospital, and that I'd be taking a break from YouTube so I could spend as much time with her as possible while she was getting better. But sadly, that didn't happen. She passed away on March 19th, and it was such a sad and stressful time for my family and I. Decisions had to be made. I mean, tons of decisions, and lots of tears were shed. So I'll also tell you a little bit about my mom and how the sign she sent held so much significance in my life. You are not going to believe it. So the design today for Mom is a full cherry blossom design using regular polishes and stamping polishes. I'm not using any gels for this design. So off camera, I used this OPI Infinite Shine 2 in Sweetheart. It's just a really pale beigey pink color, more beige than pink, I think. And I put 3 coats of that for total opacity on my Chiara Sky short square tips. And I don't know what it is about this color, but it is literally the perfect nude. The stamping plate that I'm going to be using is the Born Pretty Floral BPX L017. And the cherry blossom design is this one right here. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a dotacure or a dot mani, however you choose to say it. I'm going to be using the stamp as a template rather than as the design itself. And it's such a great way to use a stamp that rather than use it all as one color or blend certain colors across, you can use that as a template, stamp it onto the nail, and then do your dotacure right over it. And that's what we're going to be doing today. For this design, I'm actually going to be decorating every nail. So I want it to look like the cherry blossoms are going across the entire set of nails. So each nail is going to have a little bit of a different design to make it look like the branches are hanging down onto the nails. And it's going to take a little bit of work, manipulating the stamp around on the nails to make it look that way, but I think we can pull it off. I think it's going to look really great. So the base color, which is still going to show through as the branches, is the Maniology Annato Clay stamping polish. It's just a really great dirt brown, for lack of a better term. And I'm just going to stamp this across all of the nails, changing up the stamp to each nail. And what I mean by that is for the middle finger that I'm going to stamp first, I'm going to just use the entire stamp as it is on the plate. And this is such a nice, rich, deep brown. It just comes up over the Sweetheart shade so nice. So see how that just goes on, and it's just really nice, and it pops off the nail. It just looks really, really pretty. So for the ring finger, all I did was turn the stamp over. So now I have one branch going up on the middle nail and the other branch is coming down on the ring finger. And then for the index finger, I'm just going to use one little section of the stamp and just pop that on to the index finger. And then you'll see here, I accidentally got some, I didn't clean my stamper as good as I thought I had. So if you look just down towards the bottom of the nail, you will see a couple little dribs and drabs of brown. So I'm going to show you how I took that off. So I want to get those little brown pieces off and just clean the nail off a little bit. So I'm going to show you a little trick for that. Just take a Q-tip and soak it in acetone and then lightly rub over the polish that you're trying to remove. And if you do it lightly enough, you'll be able to take it off without ruining the nail. And that'll just get those little brown pieces off without really messing up the nail. I'm just using a little piece. These things are great, actually. You know what? Let me show you these. My mom had these in her linen closet where she kept like all her nail polish and stuff. it was these nail teas. I was like, oh, I was gonna, I brought those home. I thought I could really use those, and I have been using them. They come in handy for a lot of different things. If you get nail polish on, you can use it. You can use it to, work around the edges. Look how horrible my nails look. Oh my God, they're so bad. I broke every one. They were so nice and long, and they looked so nice. And then from packing, they just all broke. Let me grab another little bit of acetone. Just get that one last little piece off. So you can see, like, I was able to get the acetone off without really doing any damage to the base color. There's a little bit of discoloration over here, but I don't really think it matters. And then when I go through and put the decoration on, you're never even going to notice it. But I wanted to share those things. I'm going to see if I can find these on Amazon. I don't know where she got them, but if I can find them, I'll link them below because they're like the best thing ever. Okay, and then we have our pinky to do. So we're just going to grab just a small little piece of the design. And I totally forgot to clean off my stamper. So I am just going to use my Maniology sticky stamper station to clean off my stamper. Now, if you guys have not seen the Maniology sticky stamper station, I will link this below for you. You need this in your life. So there is my messy, I forgot to clean it off, stamper. And then basically you just roll your stamper over this sticky sheet and it cleans your stamper. No more scotch tape, no more messing with all that stuff. Comes in like a tablet form within its own book. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Let me move this out of the way. So it looks like this. It's a little book, and then you open it up and it has all these sheets in it like a tablet, and you can put your design here, make a list of the items that you used, do practice stamps in this area here. And then the best part is you can peel off this sheet right here, and that's where your sticky stamper is. So you can use this sticky part to clean your stamper off while you're working. It's really great. I love it. So that is linked below. So back to here. We just need a tiny small little part for this. And we're going to use this little piece right here. And just pop that onto the nail and make it look like the branches are coming down on the nail. And the sticky stamper. Boop. And I love that. It's actually really kind of fun to do also. All right, so the last nail is the thumbnail, and I decided to go in from the bottom on this only because, like, when you hold your hand and your thumb is kind of sideways, it would look as though the branches were coming down onto the thumb. And of course your thumb's upside down when you hold your hand like that, so the branches would be coming from the bottom. So maybe I'm overthinking this, but I just kind of thought that it would look pretty there that way. So here are all the nails. They are all stamped and ready for their flowers. And let's get started doing that. And then we can start talking more about the actual story behind the design and, of course, the amazing sign that I got from my mom. So the two colors that I'm going to be using are the Color Club regular polish. It's not stamping polish. It's Gemini Vegetarians from the Legally Blonde collection from a few years ago. I'll be using that color for the flower petals. And then the next color that I'm going to be using is the Maniology Slam Book. This is more of a fuchsia color, and this will be used for the center of the flowers and also for the stems coming away from the flowers. So I'll be using my Orly Dotter tool, and then starting with the thumb and working my way all the way through the pinky, I will be dotting over the flowers. So the first color that I'm going to use is for the actual petals, and then I'll go through with the darker shade and do the center of the flowers and all of the little stems. So I'm really excited to be putting this design together as a tribute to my mom. She was always there for me in my life. I mean, she was there with advice. She was the person that I had, she was like my confidant. She was the person that I yelled at when the real person I was mad at wasn't around. She was just always there. And one of her absolute favorite things was spring. And I found that it was so ironic because she died on March 19th, which is the day before the first day of spring. And that just always sat with me so strange. She loved spring so much. I could just remember as a kid, like her opening up all the windows on the first warm spring day and airing the house out and doing spring cleaning. And everything just smelled so good and fresh and clean. And just that's what I remember. And just again, just the irony of it, of, the day, her passing away the day before spring. So the significance of this design comes from a very long memory that I have of dancing in the flowers with my mom. So when I was little, the house I grew up in had an absolutely huge cherry blossom tree on the one side of the house. And every spring, she would, after it would bloom, she would say, "Let's go dance in the flowers." And we would go outside and she would shake the branches and all of the flowers would break off and they would come flittering down on top of us. And we would dance around in that and we would laugh and sing and we just had the best time. We would also run screaming for our lives because in addition to the flowers, we also got lots of bugs and caterpillars and all kinds of creepy crawlies in our hair and everything else. But that was part of it also. So when I grew up and I bought my first house, we had a huge cherry blossom tree on the side of the house. And every spring I would call my mom and say, "Come on over and let's dance in the flowers." So I would get my kids and we'd all go outside and we'd shake the branches and the flowers would come flittering down and the little petals. And it's just such a wonderful memory for me. So I thought that doing a cherry blossom tribute for my mom would just be so fitting. And I think she would just love it so, so much. So like I said, my mom was always there for us growing up. And she was like the kind of mom that like, it was like, even though you didn't really want the advice, she would give you her advice. And it wasn't like a take it or leave it kind of thing. It was like, well, if it was me, I think I would do this, or, I think I would do that. And it was when you would come home from being out on a Friday night or a Saturday night, she was always up and awake and waiting for you. And like, that would be like most teenagers' nightmares. But for us, it was just something like you came in and you sat on the edge of the bed and you told her about your night. And she could always tell if there was something not exactly right or if you were holding back and you want to tell her something. Like she just always knew. She may not have pushed the issue, but she always knew. But she was like just genuinely always interested in our lives and how we were doing and everything that was going on with us. So that didn't change as I got older. I mean, she was just always just a part of our lives. And she got along really well with my husband. And we always went on vacations together. We almost always went to the beach in Cape May, New Jersey. I can only remember one vacation that we went on that wasn't to the beach. And that was to an amusement park that was like in the middle of Pennsylvania in like Nowheresville. We went there for a week and I think that was like literally like our only vacation that we didn't go to the beach that I can remember as a family with my mom. So she would always go and of course, we split the cost and, we would sit on the beach all day long and she would read her book and my son would be body surfing in the water and my daughter would be building sandcastles and we just loved the beach. It was just everything to us. So this one time we were sitting on the beach and my mom was reading and evidently really not paying attention to what was going on when this big, huge group of dolphins came and they were playing in the waves and jumping and just having a ball. And everybody, including us, ran down to the water and we were watching them play. And this went on for like 10 or 15 minutes. So we all walk back to our umbrella and we sit down in our chair and my mom doesn't even like look up from her book. I mean, she was like, I guess just super engrossed in her book. And She looks up and she looks out at the water and she goes, "Hey, look, dolphins." And we all burst out laughing. We're like, "We were just down watching them play in the waves and stuff. Like you didn't see any of that?" She's like, "No, I really? Like, I didn't even see you guys leave." So evidently it must have been a really good book. So anyway, she never saw the dolphins except for like the very last little bit of them playing. And we just made fun of her for years. So it was like every single time somebody wasn't paying attention to something that was going on, we would be like, "Hey, look, dolphins." And she's like, "I am never going to live this down." She didn't. We teased her about it for years. So recently, when she got sick, we sat and talked about what she wanted and, more importantly, what she didn't want, because she wanted to make sure that I knew what she didn't want so I could make decisions for her accordingly. And because a lot of this is extremely personal, I'm not going to be sharing any of those details. But just know that my mother passed away peacefully. She was not in pain, and she was surrounded by people who loved her. Her hospice and hospital door was a revolving door of children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, cousins, nieces, nephews, everyone that loved her. So she died peacefully in great comfort, surrounded by everyone that she loved. And I hope that I can have the same thing when it comes my time. So about a week after she passed, I was in really bad shape. I was just so sad from the enormity of the loss that I just could. I didn't even want to get dressed. I mean, in the meantime, I'm trying to prepare the services and get everything squared away for that. And honestly, like, I could barely turn my brain on in the morning. So one day my husband came to me and he said that he had some errands to run, and he wanted to know if I wanted to go with him because it was in Rehoboth Beach, and then maybe we could take a walk on the boardwalk, go get something to eat, and maybe sit on the beach for a little bit because it was 70 degrees that day in March, and it was a beautiful day and a beautiful beach day. And I was like, "No, I don't want to go." So finally he talked me into going. He's like, "I really just, even if you don't get out of the car, I want you to at least get out of the house." So finally I said, yes, I would go. And we went over and sat on the boardwalk and took a walk and got something to eat on Rehoboth Avenue, which is, if you're not familiar with that area, it is just a really big, wide street that has shops and restaurants and all kinds of things going on. And it's just like exactly what you think of a small beach town. They have all the best beach food and all the best restaurants and all the best everything. And it's just a really, really good time. So we did take a walk, and then he asked me if I wanted to go on the beach and sit for a little while. And we had thrown our beach chairs in the back of the car. So I reluctantly said yes. It was a nice day, but I was still really struggling. So he went to get the beach chairs out of the car, and I sat on a bench, and I was just, patiently waiting for him to come back, as people watching and looking at the water and, just kind of hanging out till he came back. So he came back, and I walked down and I met him at the entrance to the beach, and I grabbed my beach chair, and no sooner did I walk down on the beach, set up my chair, sit down, and look up at the water, a dolphin jumped up out of the water and did one of those high arc jumps back into the water. I almost screamed. I was like, "I know that was you, Mom. I know that was you sending me a sign." And I think, and I got to hold it together here real quick, I think the sign was simply, "Stop being so sad. Enjoy your life. Hey, look, dolphins." I think she saw me struggling, and I think that was the only thing that she wasn't peaceful about, because I do truly feel like she was 100% at peace except for watching me struggle so hard. So it's kind of like I have my own little guardian angel up there looking over me, and what a special feeling that is. But almost within minutes, I could feel this burden of sadness lift right off of me. I felt like a different person when I left the beach than I did when I walked onto the beach. And I can't thank her enough for that. I mean, I took care of her when she needed me, and she took care of me when I needed her. I still get like really emotional moments, like when I have to go somewhere and I'm like, oh, let me call my mom. I'll talk to her on the way. And then I remember I can't do that. And but this sadness that I was feeling, like the unbreakable sadness where I couldn't even pick my head up off the pillow in the morning, that sign really helped with that a lot. So I hope that you found some comfort in my story. Let's get on with the manicure so I can stop crying. Okay, I have had a moment to recollect myself. That was extremely emotional. So I just wanted to show you how the nails all look once I have done the dotacure all over the flowers and stems. And then we just need to go in and put on some smudge-free top coat to seal everything in and make sure nothing smears. And then we're going to have to put in another top coat on top of that to make sure that it's nice and smooth, because dotacures can sometimes feel a little bumpy if you don't have a thick enough top coat on there. So I'm going to be using my Maniology smudge-free top coat. It is the best. It's water-based, so it makes sure that all of your stamping polishes do not smear. So I am just going to use a very large bead of polish and float the top coat over top of the design so it doesn't smear or smudge. And then once this dries down, I will grab my other top coat and put that over top of it so we have a nice smooth finish. Once the smudge-free top coat is 100% dry, I will go in with my SE Good to Go Quick Dry Top Coat, which is my absolute favorite top coat of all time. I like it because, one, it's extremely protective. Two, it works really, really well with the smudge-free top coat from Maniology. You just have to make sure that you allow the smudge-free top coat to dry 100% before you put the SE on top of it, because the SE is a quick dry top coat, and when it dries, it can pucker or wrinkle anything that's under it. So you want to make sure that everything is completely dry before you put your top coat on, and you will not be disappointed. It just looks so good. And the other thing I like about this, which is going to sound a little off the wall, is that it doesn't change the integrity of the nail. So if you've ever used nail polish or top coat that you size out your tips and then you polish them, and then after they're polished and dried, they don't exactly fit the way that they did before you did it. This one doesn't do that. It doesn't change the integrity of the nail once it's dried down. And here is how they look on. I am so happy with how this came out. So if you look at it, it looks like the two branches are on the middle and ring finger, and then they kind of sprout out to the pinky and index finger and also to the thumb. That was the whole point of trying to do like the thumb upside down kind of. But I was just so happy with how it came out there. Now it's right side up for everybody else. But when you're looking at it and the nails are lined up just how they are right there, it just kind of looks like everything is spreading out from those center two nails. So I think Mom would like these. I think I did her proud. I can't thank you enough for watching today. I hope you enjoyed my story, not just about the cherry blossoms, which was the inspiration for the nail look today, but also about Halo dolphins, because that's just such a story that is so close to my heart and so close to my family's heart. And the fact that she chose that way to reach out to me and try to make me feel better, knowing how hard I was struggling, really, really means a lot. So if you have a story to share, whether it's about your mom or someone you love or a sign that you received from someone that you love, please feel free to leave it below. And I really look forward to hearing from you. I will put another video here for you to check out. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.